the solutions are not out there. Your personal solutions, you find them only inside yourself, right?
Mhm.
And once you find them, and once you're dealing with yourself, and once you understand yourself, you also become certain in yourself, and then it's also not important anymore what other people think about, because
Yeah.
because you just know it, right?
What's up, you beautiful beasts? I'm Katie. I'm on a mission to help humans become the best possible versions of themselves and to strive for overall health, mental health, emotional health, physical health, all of the healths, without ever having to step on a scale. I have had the privilege to talk to all kinds of different humans who've been through a plethora of experiences just being a human and existing. I believe that every single time somebody shares their story, at least one person listening will learn from it, be inspired by it, and maybe, just maybe, even change the entire direction of their life. These are the stories of humans unveiling their beautiful beast. Keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast. All right, so let's get into it. Can you tell the listeners who you are and why you are who you are?
Who I am and why I am who I am. Well, my name is Ingo. I'm from Germany. I grew up and was born in Germany. I lived there also the majority of my life. And I'm a transformational growth coach. I was not always like that. So actually by profession, I'm an engineer, and I worked almost 20 years as a manager and director in the semiconductor industry. And then a few years ago, yeah, I was always good in achieving my goals and I hit my targets, but somehow I found out it didn't really fulfill me. There was something missing, right? And then like 2 years ago, my family and me, we made a decision that we moved to Mexico. It was during the pandemic, so that made
Mhm.
things even, it made the decision easier because, because the threshold was lower, right? Because also for the kids in school, it didn't work so good because they also had only the Zoom meetings, and I was in the end only sitting in front of the computer having some meetings all day long. So yeah, we just said we will move to Mexico and go for an adventure. And we thought, okay, the worst case that can happen is that after 1 year we come back and we say, okay, it didn't work, but we had a 1 year vacation in Mexico traveling around. And if it doesn't work, after 1 year we'll go back and look again for a job, right? But it turned out differently. We're still here now almost for 2 years. And like 1 year ago, I started building my coaching business. So I'm having my own business now. Yeah. I'm working
Awesome.
independently as a coach, and yeah, we're happy here. My kids are going to school here, so
Nice.
yeah, we changed a little bit our life.
Yeah. So was it like a huge scenery change for you?
I think, yeah, it was definitely a change, especially because I came from a corporate world, and it took quite a few years because when you have a corporate job and you're used to your monthly paycheck and you're
Yeah.
used to all of that, you really think that you need that, and that you especially even more if you have a family, right? You think you have to support your family, and you cannot leave your job. Yeah, and then we just did it, and I mean, for us it was very drastic, right? We changed it completely. We also sold our house,
Yeah.
and we left the country and moved somewhere completely else, and went on. So yeah, it was a lot of new things, but I think it was a great time. So we didn't regret it, and we had a good time also when we were on the road. I
Hmm.
think it was also a great experience for the kids because they also learn a lot. I think in this 1 year on the road, they learned more than whatever in 2 or 3 years in the school, because
Nice.
life is the
Mhm.
best teacher, no?
Yeah, absolutely. How's the language barrier when you moved there?
Yeah, I mean, we started 2 years ago. We didn't speak really Spanish, so we actually all of us started when we arrived here. So we did online courses while we're driving. There are some nice online schools. Um, but then it was actually very easy to pick up the language, because in Mexico, I mean, people are very patient, so they take the time to explain it to you. And the other advantage is they don't really speak English here, right? So so you just have to learn it, and by that, I mean, in the beginning, it's sometimes a little harder,
Yeah.
but you learn much quicker. And yeah, so first, me and my wife, we learned Spanish. But then since September last year, so now 1.5 years ago, we send our kids to school, and they have only very basic language skills, just what they picked up on the road. But for kids, I mean, they learn so quickly. It's so meanwhile they're helping us with the Spanish.
That's awesome. So I want to rewind a little bit and go back to what you commented on about always achieving your goals and something still being missing. Can you dig into that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I was very ambitious, I would say, also after the university. And I made my goals for me, also my professional goals in business, but also, so I'm an athlete, so I'm a triathlete. So also goals in sport and personal goals. And yeah, it was not a problem for me usually to achieve them. So I was chasing all these years, I was chasing my goals. And but once I achieved the goals, I think they didn't make me happy. So I just went for the next goal, right?
Mm,
And I think later I found out it's because maybe the goals were not aligned with my inner values. And this, I think, comes because um, it takes us time to understand what are our values. Because right today we have so much distraction in our world, and there's so much
yeah.
other opinions. We're distracted by social media, but also by opinions by other people, by your parents, or by friends, or other social groups. And so it's important to take also the time for ourselves to really understand what we want. And so I was thinking, probably I need to fulfill this dream. Like, right, you need to have a well-paying job, and you need to have a house
Mm,
and a car and all this stuff that especially in the Western society is so important. But yeah, when I had all of this, I found out it's that's not what I want,
yeah.
or not what I mean. It's nice to have, but it's not what really drives me.
Yeah. And just curious too, when you were achieving your goals, did you take the time to celebrate yourself or did you just move on to the next goal without celebration?
No, I was always celebrating, but it's after that it's also leaves some emptiness
Yeah.
a little after, right? So
Yeah. I just asked that because I know a lot of people in the world just go after their goals and
mhm.
they don't take the time to celebrate when they've reached the goal. And one thing I've been learning lately, I started e-school with Sean.
Yes,
Um, and one thing I'm learning is that the purpose of the goal is not to achieve the goal, it's just to get in motion.
yes.
So yeah, that's one of the things that has stood out so far.
And it's the process to get there. And I think for me today, goal setting is still important, but I see it more like something that's guiding me, right? I
Hmm.
think if we would be perfect, which we are all not, I think it would be enough to just focus on the present moment and just enjoy the moment and just be as we are today. Because I believe if we are doing today what we need to do, and if we're fully present and focusing on our task today, that means today will be good, but it also means our future will be good, because the future will be present one day, right?
Yeah.
So I think in this case, if we have, let's say, full enlightenment, I think we wouldn't need goals anymore. Since we are all not there, and we are all not Buddha or somebody, I think a goal is still good as a like to give you a guiding direction. But I don't think it's really necessary to achieve this goal, or to, yeah,
Yeah.
as you're saying, it's more important to focus on the process and to celebrate each step, and just to be happy in the moment.
Yeah. But I did want to ask you, like, how has the change been, um, maybe mentally and or emotionally going from employee to entrepreneur?
Um, yeah, that's interesting. But I mean, I maybe didn't go directly there because first I mean, I quit my job. And as I said, I mean, the years before, I maybe had also this thought because it took me a few years to understand that or maybe I understood it before, but I didn't make the decision because, as I mentioned, right, you get your salary and you have to support your family and you have your mortgage to pay down and all this stuff. So I didn't make this decision. So once I made the decision to quit my job, I I just knew that I will work it out somehow. So we went. So first thing we just went on the road, right? And I didn't worry about job. So we just went for traveling. We were like 9 months traveling. And then just when we settled, I thought, okay, now I'm going back. And I was sure I want to build my own business also because I want to be independent in terms of the location where I am. And yeah, I got started and I tried a few things um, but I wanted to do this coaching because I want to help other people. And I think it's um, yeah, I can help them in a similar process that I was because I think many employees or even also entrepreneurs, they're also successful, but they're not happy. And I think that's something very, very common today for many people. Maybe not at the beginning of their careers, because then we're all ambitious and we think, yeah, the money, and we want to go for the money and everything. But yeah, a few years later, um, you find out that money is not everything.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your who's your seeker? What kind of people do you coach? Or is it right now everybody?
No, it's what I said now. It's basically people like me, people that are somehow successful in their job and maybe a little older, maybe they had already the first years in their career they did already.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they're looking for something more in life, maybe to make more contribution or to get more sense into their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically my seeker. So a person like I was a few years ago. Um, I mean, I'm not recommending everybody they should quit their job
Right.
and flying to the other end of the world, right? So that was my solution. This is something that worked for me, but I think it's very individual for everybody. And
Yeah,
yes.
that's really cool. I quit my job in September.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, I was
congratulations.
just, thank you. I was just, it was very stressful and I was
Yes.
going on like 6 years of chronic sleep deprivation and I was finally like, I can't do it anymore.
Mhm.
So
How do you feel now?
I feel great. I'm still recovering from sleep deprivation.
Mhm.
Um, but I think the biggest thing I've noticed is I'm not distracted anymore by my exhaustion.
Yes.
So it's really cool. And
Mhm.
I make my own rules and do my own thing and make my own mistakes and you know,
Oh, yeah, we all have to make our own mistakes.
yeah. So I'm definitely a lot calmer than I was
Mhm.
before I quit because it was like go, 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 go. And then even when I get home from work, I'm full-time mom. So like it's nonstop from waking up to going to bed and then do it
Mhm.
again the next day.
Right.
So yeah, now it's still that same go, go, go energy, but it's putting my energy into something that I think matters, which is the coaching and the
Correct.
teaching in my
Mhm.
videos. So yeah, it's a lot more fulfilling than go,
Yes.
go, go for somebody else.
That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, that's what we all need to find, right? Something that really that not just drains our energy, but really fuels us with energy.
So what do you do for fun?
What I'm doing for fun, that's a good question. So
Yeah.
now I do a lot of things for fun. I actually have fun with most of the things I'm doing. Well, I like spending time with my kids and my family, of course. I like to be in the nature. I like to go cycling or running with my dog or swimming. In the winter, I like skiing. That's something I miss here in Mexico. But
Mm.
yeah, I like to be out in the nature. I
Your
like to
dog is
learn.
Simba, right?
My dog is Simba, yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I really enjoy it, right? Like to go running with him, and that helps me really. Yeah, I think I can learn a lot from him, right? Because he's really
yeah,
dogs are really, or animals in general, they really know how to live in the present. And when we go running, I really like it to watch him running over the fields and in the forest, and yeah, we're having a good time.
that's awesome. And then you said you have kids?
Yes, I have two sons. They're
Two
11 and
sons.
13. Yeah.
Oh, 13. How's that? Having a teenager.
Yeah, it's different sometimes. It's just starting, so.
Yeah.
But no, I mean in general they're very good kids. Of course, he's getting his moods sometimes,
Hmm.
like we all do. But
Yeah,
there also I try to not to take things personal and to relax and calm.
that's cool. My son is 6, and
Okay,
sometimes he acts like, oh, I'm sorry. He's 6.5, and he would get upset if I didn't say and a half.
okay. Oh,
Uh,
that's
but
interesting.
sometimes he
Important for
has
him.
the attitude of a teenager, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that yet.
Mhm.
You're 6.5.
Yeah, you
Like,
will probably never be ready. I mean, kids are not asking
I
you
know.
if you're ready, right?
Yeah. Mom, are you ready for me to say no? No.
No.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good thing, right? We were thrown in this parenting role, and we just have to solve it, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, um, what do you think the most fulfilling thing has been for you since you started coaching?
The most fulfilling thing is really when I see clients having a breakthrough. And usually this comes unexpected, right? It's not something you're planning for, right? Like, for example, now I have a coaching client, and she's actually last week she had kind of a breakthrough. So after I coached her maybe 3 or 4 sessions, and she told me everything is okay, and she has a good relationship with her mother. And then but suddenly it made click last week for her, and she really came into a thought process, and then it led her to this decision that she wants to clear that now. uh, and it's very important. It's great for me to see that how I can help others with coaching, like, yeah, to reach them to new insights or something like that. I think that's amazing.
That's awesome. So, oh, I know that a question to ask. What inspired you to come onto the podcast?
What inspired me to come on the podcast?
Yeah.
I like to share my story. I like to talk, and I think it's a great opportunity to learn. And yeah,
Yeah. Is there anything in particular you want to share with the listeners?
yeah, I think it's important. What I said in the beginning. I mean, yeah, chasing goals and being successful at work is not everything, right? It's yeah, for me it was also a long process, but I think it's, yeah, focus on yourself and try to be present, focus on the moment, enjoy the little moments, enjoy the little joys in the daily life, and yeah, just be there, be aware. I mean, life is so beautiful, right? I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
cool things out there, and things we should be more grateful for, and we should appreciate more for,
Yeah.
rather than just hoping for a better future or something like that.
Yeah. I do find it easier, like once you get to start to know yourself, it's easier to make goals that are more aligned with
Right.
who you are.
Mm.
Um, I know for me, my goal setting was how are other people going to react to these goals that I'm setting, and how are they going to react if I don't achieve them? And so once I started getting to know myself, I set my goals and I don't care what other people think about what my goals are, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the point. I mean, you say it absolutely correctly. I mean, the solutions are not out there. Your personal solutions, you find them only inside yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you find them, and once you're dealing with yourself, and once you understand yourself, you also become certain in yourself, and then it's also not important anymore what other people think about, because you know it. You just know it, right?
Yeah.
That's what you need to do.
Yeah. And it's cool because it's not necessarily like I don't care what other people think, because I think outside feedback is good, but it's more
Yeah.
like a your opinion won't define my opinion of myself, you know?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, we are all social beings, right? So of course there's an interaction with the outside world, and it's always good to get feedback and other perspectives. But yeah, as you're saying, it's not we shouldn't get too much distracted by that.
Yeah. I saw this quote the other day. I can't remember it exactly, but it said something like hyper independence is a defense mechanism for people who have been let down a lot, or something like that. And I was like, ooh, because I've gone in these phases where I'm like, well, I don't, I'm trying to do the I don't care what other people think, like the crazy person version of that, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Um, and then I was like, well, I'll just do everything myself, but I forget that like we're human and we crave relationships and we crave other people in our lives and we crave help. We need help, even if we think we don't need help. So,
Right, and we should also reach out to ask for help. That's something. What was
mhm.
also important learning for me, right? I also thought I can solve all my problems alone, but I think it's very important also to reach out for help. And the
Yeah.
good thing is most people are more than willing to help others, right? Because it also gives them a good feeling if they can help. So yeah, I think it's really for everyone great to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
I think especially for men, I don't know, maybe even women,
Yes.
men or many men
Yeah. That
not
whole
like
saying,
to
men
ask
never
for help.
stop to ask for directions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Unless there's anything else you want to share, I do have one more question for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you had one piece of advice that you could give to the world, what would it be?
Yeah, I think it's just what we discussed. I mean, be present, be be nice to yourself, be forgiving, and enjoy the moment. Right? Life is short, so there's just use the opportunity that's there today, and don't wait for anything in the future. Right? So yeah, just be present
Awesome.
as much as possible.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Ingo Schulmeyer signing off. Until next time. Alaka.
Thank you very much.